Hey, so this is what I've come up with so far. This is like my first progress update. I happen to make, well, essentially the Bulls basketball court, even though I didn't have to, just because why not? And so I have like the ability to teleport around anywhere I want on this court, and it's all like true to scale. Like this is what the actual Bulls court would look like. And this is what you asked me to make, the Papa Shot machine. So it's pretty basic. We've got a couple of like basic walls on the side. We got this one like rebounder wall over here. And there's no like dispensing logic right now. I just have like three basketballs in the scene and a hoop. I try to keep the proportions realistic so that it matches like real life. Like, the basketball is the size of an actual size 7 ball. The net is like all accurate, like to scale dimensions. And so this is what it looks like, when I'm shooting the ball. So, I mean, if you notice, like, the bounces and stuff are like pretty realistic, pretty easy to gather. Like, it only takes a few attempts to get a feel for this. However, like, I think there are like a few things that I'm really trying to focus on and get down. One is just like, the factors that I'm focusing on are what makes this experience more realistic and satisfying at the same time. So the first part of it is going to be just, the bounce of the ball itself. Like, does it feel real? Does it feel like an actual ball is bouncing here? Right? I feel like that part is just mostly down, although it could use additional tweaking based on like feedback from other people. And same with like I think the net and stuff. Like, the net moves fairly realistically, so I think that's another part of this. I'm new to cloth physics, so I'm still trying to tweak that out. But yeah, I think the net is mostly okay, although like sometimes it reacts violently. But the rest of it is pretty good in my opinion. So how it reacts to the ball going through it. Same with I think just like general bounces around in the scene. So from my testing, I think one of the main things that I've figured out is it's pretty hard to estimate, like, just how hard to throw the ball because obviously it's weightless. You don't actually feel the weight of the basketball, so that's one thing I want to figure out. And what I've noticed is, at least from my friends testing it out, is that most people, when they grab a basketball in VR, they tend to throw it pretty like flat, like almost horizontally, like you would throw a stone into a pond or something, which is why there's not a lot of like elevation to these shots. So my approach, like a potential fix I did was to artificially add a bit of upwards velocity to the ball when it is being launched, so it sort of just goes higher than what it actually would without the velocity, and that increases the chances of it going in. That gives us that arc. Also, I noticed another difference. Me being someone that actually plays basketball, I naturally tend to put like a bit of like elevation to my shots, which is why it's more likely to go in. However, when I pass it to like my non-hooper friends, they first went like with a flat approach and they weren't able to get a feel for the ball. Sometimes they just like throw it up there, and sometimes it would just like go like miserably low like this. So I figured people who don't actually have prior experience playing basketball might take a few more attempts to figure this out. So I'm trying to see if like manually tweaking the velocity that is added to the ball makes a difference. And so far I found just like a bit of upwards velocity that is like manually added in tends to make the shot path a real more parabolic, a bit more natural for it to go in. But yeah, this is what I have so far. Okay, fine. Maybe this shouldn't bounce it on the floor, but I haven't added any floor physics. So as long as they're within the bounds of the Papa Shot machine, I think it's fairly decent. Other aspects I might add to the realism are, well, maybe not as janky of a net, and visuals to go along with this, like bouncing. Sorry, not visuals, like audio cues, like when the ball hits the machine, when the ball bounces, when it hits the rim, the swoosh of the net when you actually make a shot. All of those factors obviously add into it, and I think the satisfaction would probably just come from making shots more easily, not getting frustrated just trying to figure out how to throw a ball. I think another point of focus for me would be to see if we can virtually add weight to the ball, although I have really no idea how. You just I don't know, simulate weight by adding a bit of a drag, I guess. But yeah, this is what I have so far. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as well.